So I got to clean a bunch of paintbrushes. Because it's that time of year again where I turn into an absolute psycho and trying to paint the perfect duck stamp for the federal duck stamp contest. Because they don't really have a shark stamp. So anyway, I end up going through brushes and have to clean them out. Because you usually paint for like an hour in the morning. And then in the afternoon, whenever I have a break, I might take a break and paint some. But that's dangerous because like next thing you know, like 3 hours later, I'm still painting a duck. And I'm like, ooh, what was I supposed to be doing? Yeah, that was good. So yeah, sharks. I was thinking back, I was talking to my boys and some of my friends, my sons, and some of my friends the other day, and we were reminiscing about our days surfing. I love to surf, and we grew up in South Carolina, and believe it or not, there is surf in South Carolina. It's not common, but we live for hurricanes. But the area I would surf was Folly Beach because I went to the Citadel. It's a military college, and it's pretty close to the beach. And we would go surfing out there a lot. And in the summer, I would live in Charleston, and I would surf like any chance I get. And it was like every day, whenever there were waves too. Thank God I don't live at the beach or anywhere near waves, because I probably never would. So I was surfing one, I think it was late afternoon, Folly Beach. It was like 1996, back in the day. And there was usually if you're a surfer, usually there's like what we call a lineup, and you're just sitting there waiting on sets to roll in, and you kind of sit on your board and you turn kind of facing the waves. And occasionally, every now and then, like you'll be sitting there and you're like, where did everybody go? Or the waves will just disappear. And if you're paddling around, sometimes you get caught up in a rip or a little current or something, and it'll suck you down suck you out to sea. And so that happened to me this time. I realized, oh crap, I need to paddle parallel to the shore because rips are no joke. But if you just paddle parallel, you usually be fine. Main thing is not panicking, because that panicking drains your energy like super fast. And I was about to turn my board around. I would like lean back, pop your board up and turn around and start paddling on it. And something huge nailed me on the shin, like just bam. And I looked and I saw fins, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't a dolphin, because I don't think we see dolphins a lot and they don't mess with you really. But this was big, and it was not like a small fish or anything. It had mass to it. So in the back of my mind, knowing as much as I do about sharks, it's good and bad. I know a lot of sharks will bump you before they bite you, and I literally I paddled so fast on top of my board to get back into shore, and because I was terrified, because I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna get bit. But luckily I didn't, which was good. But I did end up stepping on a damn horseshoe crab, which, contrary to popular belief, they do bite or something. I don't know. It sliced my toe open. So that was not a great surfing day, but I did not get attacked. But I'm pretty sure it was a shark. And another encounter, I was flounder gigging. So flounder gigging's when you go out at night with a light and you got a gig that's just a spear, and you stab flounder and then pull them up, put them in your cooler. And I would always leave my cooler open with ice in it and then let the blood drain out, because you want to bleed your fish out when you catch them. Otherwise they get kind of a gamey taste. It keeps them fresher longer. It's called, the Japanese use this technique called ikejime, where you bleed out your fish and stab them in the brain. It sounds horrible, but it makes a big difference in it. The fish don't suffer for very long. But so anyway, I'm trying out a new area, and so I had recently switched to a paddleboard instead of my John boat for flounder gigging, because I could get a lot shallower. And it was right when paddleboards started coming out. It was like 15 years ago, and I would, I still hadn't perfected the technique, and I was just, yeah, so it was, it got a little dicey, a little sporty a few times, and, but anyway, I was excited because I could get really shallow, and I could get to areas that were hard to get to, that the big boats couldn't get to. So anyway, I'm out there, and I'm tired, because I don't know, for some reason when you're out there, you lose track of time, and it's like a one-track mind. It's almost like a Zen experience. You're just gliding over the water, and you see all kind of cool stuff. But it was tired, and the tides had turned, and I had made it to the very end of the very opening of the inlet where it came into the ocean, and that tide was outgoing, and so it was really shallow. And the challenge there is if you're in the wrong spot, it'll spin your board around if you hit the ground, because the current's really ripping in some spots. So what I did, I would use my flounder gig as a push pole and kind of push myself around, and it works really well. But if the current is coming and you put it on the wrong side, then it'll pin you up against that gig, and your gig's stuck in the ground. So what'll happen is that as the current builds up, pushes your board up on it, and it basically catapults your flounder gig or whatever you're using as a push pole out into the open ocean. And I tipped a bit, and that was back before we had efficient battery technology. I had a big ass lead acid 12-volt battery in the back, and it got a little bit tipsy, and then of course bloop, it fell off the paddle board, and I'm just trying to stay on, and my gig is gone, and then my lights go out, and I can't see anything. So it's a little panicky at that point. And anyway, I was able to get my shit together, get my lights working. I had a backup set of lights, and then I had a headlamp. And at that point, I just remember when the lights came on, I had drifted into deeper water, but I could see deep enough to just see a big ass shark swimming underneath the paddleboard, and then underneath that shark, or to the side of them, there was just tons of stingrays. And it was cool, but it was not cool, because I was thinking I can't hop off my board here because it's too deep, and I don't want to step on a stingray. And the current was ripping, and if you're ever in that situation and you panic, it can get worse real quick. So anyway, luckily I didn't panic. Yeah, because my dad, when he was a kid, he stepped on a stingray flounder gig, and the piece of the stingray barb stayed in his foot all summer, and he had to have 4 surgeries. It's funny because you ask him, he's like, "That's why I didn't play pro baseball. It's because I stepped on a stingray." I'm pretty sure that's not the reason, but anyway, rest in peace. My dad was funny. But yeah, so the cool thing is when you're out there flounder gigging at night, you see all kind of cool stuff. Eels, lots of flounder fish. I've seen all kind of random stuff. It's cool. It's kind of like you're sneaking around at night, and you just see things that you would not normally see, including sharks, because I did modify my technique. So when I gig a fish now, I'll put it in the cooler, and I won't trail. If I'm in an area that can get deep real quick, I won't have it to where my paddle board is leaking blood, which is probably not a good idea. But it's usually when you're gigging though, you're pretty shallow, so it's not really a concern. But anyway, yeah, I got one more brush to paint. So yeah, it's fun. I like anything in the water, but it's funny. It's like surfing. I never really worry about sharks. If I'm scuba diving and I can see them, they don't bother me at all. But if I'm surfing, I don't know what it is. It's something about if it's murky and you drift away from the pack, and you just know there's a shark underneath you that is gonna mess with you. I mean, for the most part, they're not gonna do anything. But they do have an exploratory bite sometimes. If you're a spear fisherman, on the other hand, those guys, seriously impressive dudes, because they've got the speared fish on the line. And yeah, a friend of mine in Florida he was spearfishing, and he got bit on the hand. And he was real nonchalant about it. He's like, yeah, he showed me a picture and it was like giant. I'm like, good Lord, man. But yeah, they have to deal with that. But surfing, it's funny because like if I'm surfing, when I go back, I get that fear, that primal fear, and then the more I'm in the water, the more I'm surfing, it just goes away because it's just something about being in the water. But yeah, because I think I went surfing a few years back, and yeah, I was like the only surfer out there, and yeah, it was in the back of my mind. I was like, wonder what's out there. But yeah, if you think about a shark when they bite, here's an analogy. When I was a kid, still to this day, I love chocolate. Like, I love chocolate. I eat like a unsupervised second grader now because I love chocolate and I just eat a bunch of garbage. But anyway, that's why I work out. When I was a kid, I saw this, piece of candy, and it was in this shiny, like, goldish bronze wrapper, and it was like unguarded in my mom's cabinet. I'm like, what in the hell? Like, she has slipped up. And I was pretty young, and so I grabbed it. I think I grabbed a handful and I unwrapped it, and then I just threw them in my mouth. But it was not chocolate. It was a bouillon cube, and they do not taste good. So I would imagine that's a lot of times what a shark experiences when they bite a human. They're like, they get a mouthful of wetsuit and bony human. They probably don't like it. So it's like if you think you're about to bite into a chocolate chip cookie and you bite into a oatmeal raisin cookie. Ugh, I hate those things. It's probably the same feeling. But anyway, just thought I'd share.